Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Pimlico Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 20th of May 2022. It's Pimlico Special, Black-Eyed Susan Day from Pimlico, and we're going to look at all the stakes races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and also join me tomorrow for my Preakness preview here from Pimlico. But I have to say, I love Pimlico, and I love Preakness weekend. You always have these great races. So we're going to look at the stakes races right now, races 8 through 13. So it's a good all-stakes pick 6, so let's look at it right now. Starting off with the 8th race from Old Hilltop, it's the Allaire Dupont Distaff. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $150,000. Race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 6 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Pimlico main track. 1,800 meters, 1 mile and 1/8 here in the Allaire Dupont Distaff. And I show the diagram, just gives me a second to look down my notes, just bear with me. The weather is going to be the main thing for this weekend. Usually when we're talking about weather in this time of year, we're talking about, oh God, the rain's going to come, we're going to get a monsoon. Not so much. It's going to be about 96 degrees with a heat index of about 105 Saturday at Pimlico. Friday is going to be pretty warm also, but it's basically all up and down the East Coast this weekend. Here in New York City, it's going to be like 90-something degrees on Saturday. So it's going to, the heat is going to be a major factor, so just keep that in mind. We had some rain Thursday. They're off to turf Thursday here at Pimlico, so the turf course should be have slight moisture in it today, but should be firm by Saturday. But back to the Allaire Dupont Distaff. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 6 horse Frost Point, 6-4-2-1 for me in the superfecta. 6-4-2-1 super top selection, 6 horse Frost Point. This 4-year-old filly by Frosted. Bill Mont trains this one for Godolphin. Flavian Pratt, who's riding New York a storm, gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 10th of April at Aqueduct. Mile Nathan, the Top Flight Invitational, and the horse finished 3rd by 4 lengths. And it was the horse's first start around 2 turns in a little bit. This horse just kind of stalked all around the race course, couldn't get the good turn of foot, but didn't go down without a fight. Coming here a little bit more forwardly paced on a speed favoring track, I think the horse could really run a good race here today. 2 back on the 18th of February at Aqueduct, Muddy Bajero going 1 mile and off 62. The horse finished 2nd by length, was stupidly wide that day, but was closing up well late. A little bit more ground, this horse would have made it very interesting late. And then here over at Laurel on the 27th of January, mile 16th allowance race 62,000. The horse went by 7 3/4 lengths. Had a stupidly wide post draw, going a mile and 16th at Laurel with a quick run to that first turn, breaking from barrier number 6 to 7. You don't get good position out of the gate, but really, after that, down the backstretch, settled well, quickened up nicely, went away with it. A very good return to the winner's circle. And then a Churchill mid-November, mile 16th allowance race. The horse finished 2nd by 2 1/4 lengths that day. And again, was closing up well, but just needed something. Has been training well, has been running well recently. Back to stakes competition at 3-1. I'm going to use this horse. You have to use the 4-horse super quick for Norm Cassie also. Most recently in the double dog Daryl Keelan over the mile 16th. The horse finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths, and he just really couldn't get there. But before that, the horse definitely needed the race at the fairgrounds. But if he shows the form like the horse showed in late 2021, the horse could definitely win here today. Like those 3 races in Kentucky between the 19th of September and November. If he runs those races, he could definitely win. At 5-2, the buyers are up to scratch. We'll use this horse on the ticket, but I do prefer the other horse before. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Pimlico, it's the grade 3 Allaire Dupont Distaff. Let's take the 6 horse Frost Point. Give kudos to the 4 horse Super Quick. 6-4-2-1 Super. Let's go 6-4 in the first leg of the pick 6. The 9th race from Pimlico, it's the Hilltop Stakes. It's going for a purse of $100,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. 8 horses are going to the turf course. The distance of ground here, 1,600 meters or a mile on the Pimlico turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in the Hilltop. At Old Hilltop. Top selection, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse Pizza Bianca. Let's go 4-8-3-6 in the superfecta. 4-8-3-6 super. Top selection of 4 horse Pizza Bianca. 3-year-old filly by Fasten Rock. Christophe Clement trains this one for Bobby Flay. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. The horse's return to the races came on the 24th of April at Aqueduct. Mile 16th on the outer turf course in the Memories of Silver Stakes. And the horse finished 2nd by 3/4 length. This horse, sat back early, slowly moved her way up, but consumer spending really fought a good race and caught this horse on the wire. First off the bench, this horse maybe was a little bit flat. Second off the bench, coming here to Pimlico. I think the horse could really run a good race. I believe after this race, they're targeting. I want to say at Royal Ascot, the big mile race on Thursday for or Friday for at Royal Ascot next month. So they're targeting that race, the filly equivalent of the St James Palace. I just can't think of it right now. But they're targeting that race at Royal Ascot in 4 weeks. So it's gonna be a prep race here. Two back, the horse ran the Breeze Cup Juvenile Fillies at Del Mar, 1 mile on the 5th of November. The horse won by a half length that day and closed up from nowhere after a horrible beginning. Jose rode a good race to get the job done. A very, very great run, giving Christophe Comont his first Breeze Cup victory. And then before that, in the Talma at Woodbine, 1 mile on the 19th of September. The horse finished second by 2.5 lengths that day. Just had a little bit of a trouble trip. Closed up well, but Wild Beauty really ran a great race that day. And then main special weight Saratoga on the 22nd of July, mile 16th on the inner. The horse won by 3/4 length, a little bit wide, but closed up well from the back of the pack. Has been training well at Belmont. Should handle a slight give in the ground. At 4-5, a very likely winner. If she doesn't show up, I think her second likeliest winner is the 8-horse Vergara. The 3-year-old filly by Noble Mission. Grab Motion trains as Luis Saez gets the mount. First time a Lasix on this one. Most recently, they ran the horse in the Bourbonnais Oaks at Turfway on the Tapeta, mile 16th there on the 2nd of April. First off the bench, the horse needed the race, was break from 12-12, which was a detriment to this horse. Didn't get good position out of the gate, was stupidly wide, and never quickened up, finishing 8th by 12.25 lengths. The 2021 form on turf was very good for this horse. Won the Tempet at Aqueduct in late November. Broke the main going a mile and 1/8 on the turf at Laurel as a 2-year-old, which is very hard to do, winning by 1.25 lengths from a wide post draw. And then at Laurel going 5.5 in a main special weight. The horse finished third by length, with a good second run finish line with that very long 2.5 furlong run in with the second finish line at Laurel. This horse, really ran her hard out there, but going to a mile, which I think she should actually like, a decent post draw, would like a little bit better, but with her always breaking for the outside, I think she could overcome it. First time Lasix at 9-2. If there could be an upsetter to Pizza Bianca, I think it could be this one. You'll probably get a good price also in the Maldives. We'll use her there. But to recount my selection for the 9th from Pimlico, it is the Hilltop Stakes. Let's take the 4-horse Pizza Bianca. Give kudos to the 8-horse Vergara. 4-8-3-6 Super. 4-8 in your multi-race. The 10th race now from Pimlico. It is the Miss Preakness Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $150,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 8 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground of 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the Pimlico main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs here in the Miss Preakness. My top selection, we're going to go take the number, where are we? I'm going to go take the number 6 horse, Happy Soul. 6-3-2-5 in the superfecta for me. 6-3-2-5 super. Top selection, 6 horse, Happy Soul. 3-year-old filly by Run Happy. Wesley Ward trains this one. John Velasquez gets the mount. I thought running her in the Ashland most recently was a wrong decision. Over the mile 16th on the wet fast surface at Keeneland on the 8th of April, she finished 6th by 25 lengths. She showed speed for the first 6, and then after that, for the final 2.5 furlongs, she really hit the wall, wasn't getting into it. It wasn't her day to win. Back to 6, where she's a competent sprinter. I think she could really run a lot better race than she did routing last time out of Keeneland. 2 back in the Dixie Belle at Oaklawn, about 6 furlongs the 19th of February. The horse won by 3 lengths, and from a tracking position, she slowly moved her way up. She got the lead, quickened up nicely. That was a very good victory for her there. And then before that, the Astoria at Belmont, 5.5 on the 3rd of June. The horse won by 11.25 lengths that day, and she could have probably won by more. She basically was on cruise control all throughout the 5.5, all around easy race. And then before that at Belmont, 5 furlongs in main special weight, winning by 11.75 lengths. Again, she just has a lot of speed sprinting that day. Coming here today, training well, back to 6, which I think she absolutely likes. She's a very likely winner. She's a very likely single in the multi-race. I'll probably play 2 tickets with her as a single, but if there's a slight upset, it could be the 3-horse Lady Scarlet. Mike Maker trains this one. Jose Ortiz, or Irad Ortiz, gets the mount. Most recently in the Beaumont, a race that came up very tough this year, going the about 7 at Keeneland on the 10th of April. She finished 4th by 11 lengths. She showed speed early on. Maitreya got to her, but she still ran her hard out there. She won the Cicada before that at Aqueduct, going 3/4 in March, very, very easily, earning an 82 buyer. And then one before that at Oaklawn. She's a former claimer. She actually got claimed for $150,000 out of a race at Churchill in the fall. Came back to have a decent winter down south. Since coming up north, she's run these decent races. She's training well. At 6-1, it wouldn't surprise me if she gets the job also from a tracking position. We'll use her on the expensive ticket for this pick 6, but like I said, if you single Happy Soul, I totally understand, because she does seem like a logical single. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Pimlico, it's the Grade 3 Miss Preakness. Let's take the 6-horse Happy Soul. Give kudos to the 3-horse Lady Scarlet. 6-3-2-5 Super. Let's go 6-3 in your multi-race. The 11th race from Pimlico. It is the DeVere 1 Stakes. It's going for a purse of $100,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. We have a field of a dozen horses entered. Keep in mind the 5 horses in MTO, so 11 will head to the turf course. The distance of ground here of 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the Pimlico turf course. 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs here in the DeVere one. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, Phantom Vision. Let's go 1-2-10-6 in the superfecta. 1-2-10-6 super. Top selection, 1 horse, Phantom Vision. 4-year-old filly by declaration of war. Mike Maker trains this one. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 16th of April at Keeneland. Good turf course, 5.5 furlongs on the Giant Causeway. The horse lost all chances basically even before the race began on the Wednesday before when they drew the races. Breaking from 13 of 13, very unlikely post draw. She finished 8th by 6 3/4 lengths, was very wide throughout, never had good position, and it just wasn't the day to win. Breaking from the rail on a very speed favoring turf course, back to a sprinting trip, which she's been crying out for. I think she's in a more likely spot to win. 2 back and up 6-2 at Gulfstream, about 5 furlongs off the turf on the Tapete on the 10th of April. The horse went by 1/4 lengths and basically stalked. She got the lead, quickened up nicely, an all-around easy race for her there. And then again on the Tapete on the 23rd of January at Gulfstream, about 5 furlongs off turf, optional 25, winning by a neck. A little bit wide that day. She had to dig down late to get the job done off the bench, but it was an all-around good race. She ran at this fixture last year in the Hilltop over the mile, where she finished 7 by 5 lengths there, and she's just not a 2-turn horse. She never really shows up when she gets to rounding trip. She wants to go 5. When she runs this trip, she always shows up. Even if she doesn't win, she always shows up these better races. She's training well here today. I think at 6-1, she's a very likely winner. The second likeliest winner is the horse to her outside, the 2-horse Honey Pants. This 4-year-old filly by Cairo Prince. Christophe Command trains. Alcibiades Jr. gets the mount. In mid-April, this horse ran at Gulfstream, about 5/8 on the turf course and off 62. The horse went by 3 1/4 lengths that day, and the horse basically put on a show, a little bit wide, but quickened up nicely. A very easy run there. Before that, they ran the horse on the Tapeta, going about 5 and off 6-2, where the horse just couldn't catch Phantom Vision, who just had the speed on this horse late. But then if you look at some of the races in 2021, this horse was running against some very tough horses. Going to 5 for the second time in her career, at 5-2, we'll definitely use her in the multis. And also the 10 horse here, Pay Them Blues Away. Most recently won the Lightning City at Tampa, going 5/8 in February, very, very nicely by 3 1/4 lengths, earning at 90 Buyer from a stupidly wide post draw. Before that, on New Year's at the Fairground, needed that race where the horse just couldn't get there from being wide throughout. I won the Claim and Crown Canterbury Dash at Gulfstream on the turf course in December very nicely, making the Pimlico debut as a very good 5 furlong sprinter. Gonna have to overcome a wide post draw, but this horse has overcome wide post draws in the past. 3-1, another use in your multis in this very wide stakes race. But to recap my selection for the 11th from Pimlico, it is the very one stakes. Let's take the 1 horse Phantom Vision, give kudos to the 2 horse Honey Pants and the 10 horse Pain the Blues Away. 1-2-10-6 super, 1-2-10 in this pick 6. The 12th race now from Pimlico. It is the Pimlico Special. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $300,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a very good field of 11 horses going the distance of ground here of 1,900 meters, or the distance of ground of mile 3/16 on the Pimlico main track. 1,900 meters, a mile 3/16 here in the Pimlico Special. And I loved, when was it? 2-3 years ago, in 2019, they ran the Pimlico Special at a mile and a quarter, which I thought was a great thing. I think you saw 14 horses running in it that year, and it's something I would love to see them run at that trip again. But we have to go back with tradition and run it at mile 3/16. But it's something I've noticed, the race has become, it's becoming a decent race again, and it was on hiatus for a while, lost its grade 1 status. They came back, they gave it a grade 3. Wouldn't surprise me if it becomes a grade 2 in the next few years again, because it's just decent horses have been running in it the last few years. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 1 horse Vindictive. Let's go 1-3-8-5 in the superfecta. 1-3-8-5 super. Top selection, 1 horse Vindictive. 4-year-old colt by Uncle Mo. Todd Pletcher trains. Alcibiades Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 25th of March at Aqueduct, a mile and 1/8 and op 62. The horse won by 1/4 lengths. A little bit wide that day throughout, but he basically stalked his pace. He quickened up nicely and got the job done. Come the stakes quality horses for the second time. You know, he should get a good trip from the inside. He should definitely get the distance. I think he's sitting on a very good run. Two back, he ran in the Discovery at Aqueduct, mile and eighth on 27th of November. A race that has been coming up very tough the last few seasons, and in 2021 was no exception. He lost to Miles D, who really put on a good race. Speaker's Corner just couldn't get the mile and eighth. After that, has won 3-4 in a row, including the Grade 1 Carter at Aqueduct the past month, is pointing towards the Met Mile. This horse just got beat by two very good horses. He didn't break that well. It was a little bit wide throughout, but he was gaining late. If he would have broke a little bit better, he would have made the race interesting late. And then before that, an Alcibiades at Belmont, a mile 16th on the 2nd of October. He finished 5th by 4 lengths. He was just a little bit wide and couldn't get there. That was one of his worst races. Maybe he doesn't like running it at Belmont. His worst races have come there on paper. But before that, Saratoga, a mile and eighth and all ounce race, 103,000. First time facing winners, winning by half length. He was a little bit wide, but really put on a show, and then broke the main before that. Saratoga, a mile and eighth in the main special weight, winning by head from a tracking position. He beat a good group of horses home in that main race. Coming second to second time stakes quality horses at 2-1. Let's use him. We also have to use the 3-horse Untreated. This 4-year-old colt by Nyquist, Top Ledger trains. Joel Rosario gets him out. Most recently in the Excelsior at Aqueduct, a mile and eighth on the 2nd of April. He finished second by a head that day. He was a little bit wide. He had lead, but Far Warren closed up from nowhere at 4.5-1 to get the job done. But this horse ran his heart out there after starting a quick half mile there. Coming here today, miles 316, a little bit longer trip where he doesn't need the lead from track position. I think that's something he wants to get. His races over the winter at Aqueduct and the Fairgrounds weren't bad at all. He just showed up a little bit too tough in that mineshaft handicap, but other than that, he's running decently. 7-2, let's use him here. And also the 8-horse First Captain. And the Carter, he just was facing very tough Grade 1 quality horses sprinting, but closing up to a mile and 316, a little bit of slower pace. I think that should suit him well. We'll give him a shot of 5-1 on paper, but I do prefer the other two before him. But to recap my selections for the 12th from Pimlico, it's the Grade 3 Pimlico Special. Gonna take the 1-horse Vindictive, give kudos to the 3-horse Untreated and the 8-horse First Captain. 1-3-8-5 Super. Let's go 1-3-8 in the pick 6. The 13th race, the co-feature, the feature of the Friday program from Pimlico. It is the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $250,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. We have a baker's dozen, 13 horses going to the Pimlico main track. The distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or a mile and eighth on the Pimlico main track. 1,800 meters, a mile and eighth in the Pimlico Special. Or, excuse me, in the Black-Eyed Susan, not the Pimlico Special. Mile eighth in the Black-Eyed Susan. Top selection, I'm going to go with the number 9 horse, Interstate Daydream. Let's go 9-7-10-5 in the superfecta. 9-7-10-5 super. Top selection, 9 horse, Interstate Daydream. 3-year-old filly by Classic Empire. Brad Cox trains. Florent Giroux gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the Ashland at Keeneland, mile 16th on the 8th of April, and the horse finished third by 8.25 lengths that day. You know, with the pace early on, but then Nest and Cocktail Moments really put on a show. This horse just couldn't keep up there against those very tough horses. Stepping down to a mile and eighth, where if the horse gets the lead, it'd be good, but from the tracking position a little bit better. I think the horse could run a lot better race. Two back in Optional 80 at Oakland on mile 16th, 13th of March. She won by 8.25 lengths, and from a tracking position, she quickened up nicely and got the job done. First start around 2 turns. Very, very good race for her there. And then before then, the Adirondack at Saratoga, 6.5 furlongs, the 8th of August. The horse finished second by 3.25 lengths that day, and she closed up from nowhere after not the strongest beginnings, but she put a good final quarter for her there, and then a 5.5 at Belmont in her debut in the main special weight, winning by a head. Again, not the best beginnings, but she really put on a show late, getting the job done. She's training well at Churchill. I'm going to give her a shot here at 6-1. Give a shot to the 7-horse Distinctly Possible also. Ira Ortiz Jr. gets on this one for Chad Brown. Most recently in the main special at Keeneland over the mile 16th. First start as a 3-year-old. First start in quite a while. The horse went by 1/4 lengths and was wide throughout, but had a great track position, quickened up nicely. Got the job done there very nicely. Before then, the Alcibiades at Keeneland on mile 16th and 8th of October. She was still main there, but facing Grade 1 quality winners. She finished second by 4 1/4 lengths behind Juju's Map. She was a little bit wide, way out of it, but was really closing up well late. Nothing bad about that race. If she wasn't a little bit green, she probably would have made the race a lot more interesting than she did late. And then Saratoga in her debut on the six furlongs on the 29th of August in the main special weight, finishing second by a half length behind Gerrymander, was a decent horse. A little bit wide, but she showed up. She should love the mile in the 8th today. She's drawn well. 6-1, we have to use her. And the 10 horse, Allaire Manor, for Sean McCarthy and John Velasquez. Won the Las Virgenes at Santa Anita in February very nicely. Came back to a very good place in the Santa Anita Oaks behind Desert Dawn. Some decent buy numbers. A lot has that California speed at 5-2. Definitely using your late pick 6 or your only pick 6. But to recap my selection for the 13th from Pimlico, it's the Black Eyed Susan. We're going to take the 9 horse Interstate Dream. Give kudos to the 7 horse Distinctly Possible and the 10 horse Allaire Manor. 9-7-10-5 Super. 9-7-10 in your multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 and join me tomorrow for my Preakness preview from Pimlico. Good luck, everybody.